Hi, I'm Kelly, and this is day 7 of my 100-day juice feast. And today I want to talk about labs and journaling. First, I'm just going to mention that I have decided to start taking a few notes before my videos since I'm constantly forgetting to mention things in them. And then later on, I think, oh, I'm going to mention that. And then I do my next video and I forget to mention it. So until my memory comes back, I am going to start referring to notes. So I apologize if that seems like awkward when I do that. Anyway, so I mentioned that on day 1, I went to my doctor's office and I had my labs taken so that I would have baseline values. And for the most part, my labs were all in the normal range. In fact, even my cholesterol was not flagged as being out of the normal range, but I personally find it outside the normal range. It was the highest I've ever seen my cholesterol. It was 195. And last year, around the same time, well, in November of last year, it was 153. And in 2014, it was 130. And when I first switched to a whole foods, plant-based, no oil diet, it got down to 119. So I think it was 180 before I switched to a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. So prior to this 195, 180 was the highest I'd ever seen it. So that's something that really concerns me. And it's clear that what may have been a natural propensity to have lower cholesterol, or at least not really high cholesterol, is gone. And it's on its way up if I don't make any changes. So there's that. Also, I turned 50 last month on November 6th, and in the 4 weeks after my birthday, I gained 7.2 pounds. Now, I also started a medication at the same time, so it's kind of hard to know. I also was not doing very well with my food plan, so it was a lot of different factors that were playing at the same time. But the bottom line is 7.2 pounds in 4 weeks was a lot of weight, and I could really feel it, and my clothes weren't fitting, and I was feeling really awful. And they say that after 50, things get a lot harder, they go downhill, but this wasn't downhill. This was literally like swan dive off the cliff day after my birthday kind of thing. So I'm really wanting to reverse that process, whatever that was going on. And now that I am over 50, it's important that it was always important, but it's imperative now that, I stop treating my body as badly as I've been treating it because I'm not going to be getting away with it. Not that I was ever totally getting away with it before, but I'm getting away with it even less now. So, um, I also was low on my B12, which I know that I don't take my B12 regularly. That's been an issue for me for a long time, and that's just got to change. So now I'm taking that regularly. And then I was also low on vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is something that I've never supplemented before because I've always just tried to get D through either like mushrooms or, fortified foods or through the sun because I run or I also walk 2 miles a day. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but my parking space at where I work is a mile from my office, and they do have a bus that you can take. So if it's pouring rain or in the middle of winter, I might take the bus, but for the most part, I just prefer to walk. So I walk a mile in the morning from my parking space to my office, and then at the end of the day, I walk back. So I at least get 2 miles a day, and then I'll either go for a walk with my husband, or I'll go for a run, or so, even if I don't do anything else, it takes me over 15 minutes to do the walk, up to closer to 18, I think. So I'm getting, nearly 40 minutes a day outside, even if I don't do any other exercise, but my daily walks to and from my car. But because it's the Midwest, I don't have a lot of my skin exposed for a lot of the months of the year. So anyway, and this summer I had an Achilles injury, which I'm actually going to talk about in another video. So I wasn't running how I have been in the past, and so I think that my sun exposure is just really drastically reduced. So if anybody has any suggestions about the best brand or type of vitamin D, I did post on Juicing Mama's Facebook page about it, and she did mention that you should probably have K2 plus D3, and then I'm assuming like some kind of sublingual drops, or I don't know if there are tabs that you take sublingually or not, but organic. So if anybody has any like advice because they've dealt with it, like they've used supplements to bring their vitamin D back up, I'd love to hear about it. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is journaling. I have this journal that I started, and it says "Leave your fears behind" on the front of it. And how I'm using this journal is sort of for two things, and one of which I do plan to talk about tomorrow. But today I'm just going to talk about journaling the juice fast or feast. And I'm writing down, I'm trying to record as many things as I can remember in terms of what are some of the ailments, aches, pains, conditions that I'm suffering from now, because oftentimes you live with them for so long and you don't really remember them. If you go to list them off, they just become part of you and you don't even remember that they're a problem. Like somebody mentioned in another video that they have dry eye that they were trying to get rid of, and I'm like, I've got dry eye. Is that something I could get rid of? And so I'm trying to write those things down as I remember them and be like, oh yeah, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. So I can remember or notice progress. Because one of the things I have found in the past is that you often don't notice the absence of something. And so as time goes on, things go away and then you forget about them because you don't notice them because they're not there, and then you don't realize how much progress you've made. And so I want to be able to record those things like this: I had headaches every single day, now I don't, or it's been 2 weeks since I've had to take Excedrin tension, that kind of thing. So I'm writing these things down. Now I've been 7 days. This is the end of day 7 for me, and I was writing down some things that I've noticed. Now what I have been looking on the scale a little bit. I'm going to try to go just weekly after this, but I don't know. I'm not making any promises about that. But I have been noticing, even if in the absence of the scale, I've been noticing that my body is getting better in certain ways. And I've also noticed the swelling in my feet and ankles has been reduced drastically. So those are two very positive things. But for the most part, I would say the first week has been more on the negatives, like the side of the detoxy first week kind of stuff that's been happening. So I'm still waiting for like all the wonderful things that I've been watching on other people's videos to start happening, and I've just been kind of enduring this week with faith. Basically, that's how I've been getting through it, and support from people on the Facebook pages and other YouTube channels, and it has been a great gift. So, some of the things that I noticed this week is insatiable hunger. That is something that actually I think it might have started to decline a little bit today. Although I have been drinking more slowly today, and I've been trying to stretch the juices out as long as I can possibly take them. And the reason for that is because I feel so hungry all the time that when I drink the juice, I drink it pretty quickly. And when I do that, it is causing this horrific stomach pain. And I mentioned it yesterday, but I kind of clumped it together with another issue with the enema. But today, I've definitely isolated this is being specific to drinking too quickly. So I drink too quickly, and then I get this intense, agonizing pain in my stomach, like it's being eaten by acid. And then I also start to feel sort of dizzy and nauseated. And then I'll get this pressure in my head, like somebody has a clamp and they're just like cranking the clamp tighter and tighter. And it'll last, say, 3 to 5 minutes. It's horrible. And then it just fades away, kind of like an ice cream headache where you eat the ice cream too fast, you get this sharp pain, and then and then it kind of fades. That's what this does. So I'm trying to slow down, and in slowing down, I don't know if it's just a coincidence that the day I started slowing down is also the same day that the hunger has lifted a little bit, but I haven't even finished my third 32 ounce. I mean, I'm almost done with it. But before I was drinking 32 ounces early on and then still famished and drinking a fourth one. And today I'm just finishing up the third one, and it's like 10:22 at night. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the hunger's dialing back. Maybe slowing down and stretching them out is the way to go. Not that you didn't necessarily shouldn't be drinking a gallon a day, but I mean, I was in just the hunger was very, very uncomfortable, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. So if you're experiencing intense hunger that just doesn't seem to go away, maybe try slowing down, the pace at which you drink. Um, so another thing that I have been forgetting to say every single day is I have had quite a bit of pain in my knuckles over the years. It's usually like one knuckle at a time. Like I'll have one knuckle and then it'll feel like arthritic pain, and the knuckle will swell, and or sometimes it'll get like a little kink in it, and then that will kind of go away, and then another one will start up. And um, this week I had a new one. See how crooked? Anyway, this top knuckle in my index finger hurt so badly 3 days ago that I couldn't barely even use the finger. Like if I even bumped it against something or touched something to, oh, hey, what's that? It would just shooting pain, and that lasted for several days. And it still hurts, but I can bend it and touch things with it now. But I was just kind of curious if anybody else who has arthritis or joint pain, if they ever notice like a flare up the first week, like it's kind of fighting back or something like that. I don't know. But I'm assuming that those things will go away over time. I was just a little surprised that it seemed to start during the fast. Daily headaches. Okay, now this is something I'm still kind of having, but I'm not talking about the detox from caffeine kind of headaches. I'm talking about like the tension headaches in the base of my head. And now they're predominantly happening when I wake up in the morning. And I'm not sure if that is still food, diet, or detox related, or if it is from my pillow and how I sleep, or if it's from the CPAP. So it seems to be kind of like where one of the straps for the CPAP is, and I cannot uh, get comfortable when I'm sleeping with it, and I do kind of have to move my head a little bit because when I start to roll, the mask will move, and so I know that I'm not sleeping in a natural position when I wear it, and I think that that's creating tension in the back of my head, and so when I wake up in the morning, I've got these headaches, and then usually if I walk around, it'll start to get a little bit better during the day. Sometimes it doesn't. But I'm really, again, fingers crossed that if I can ever stop wearing the CPAP, that maybe that will resolve that issue as well. Um, I also haven't noticed a big increase in energy this week either. Although this afternoon I had like a little burst, and I was like, oh, here it is, and I put a bunch of stuff away from Christmas and was organizing the house a little bit, organized the whole kitchen, took all the appliances off the countertops that I'm not going to be needing and storing it in the basement, and then putting just everything for my juicing on the countertops to have more space because I have a small kitchen. And I thought, oh, my energy's finally here. And then, like an hour later, I took a 2.5 hour nap. So, wah wah. Anyway, I'm sure that will come too. It's just going to be a gradual change. And anyway, I would say that that's pretty much all that I wanted to touch on today. So I hope everybody else is doing great. I know that on Juicing Mama's Facebook page, they're going to be starting the 10-day fast tomorrow. A lot of people are already started and they're doing 30-day, 60-day, 100 some day, 100 plus day uh, juice feasts. So hopefully we can all join together and support each other and get through it and live the rest of our lives healthy and free from pain and disease. So see you tomorrow. Bye.